With me, Maria Shakil. On the road to 2024, the BJP has concluded its two-day national executive meeting where the Prime Minister laid down his political blueprint for the saffron Karyakartas, and the party cleared the extension of the tenure of BJP President JP Nadda till June 2024. The Prime Minister highlighted that BJP workers must strengthen their presence on the ground by empowering booths and expand their presence in villages and among the youth of the country by communicating the achievements of the government. The Prime Minister called on the top brass to cohesively leverage the party's governance agenda ahead of the 9 state elections in 2023, that is this year, to set the ground for the grand battle for Lok Sabha. He said Amrit Kal should be converted into Kartavya Kal, adding that the BJP should create bridges between states and communities to achieve the vision of Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat. On Monday, the Prime Minister also lauded the BJP units of Telangana and West Bengal for expanding the party's presence. Remember that these are two states very important in BJP's 2024 game plan. But while this is the state of affairs in the BJP camp, the opposition continues to be in a state of disarray, struggling to form a united front. On Wednesday, BRS Chief K. Chandrasekhar Rao has invited Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann and Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav for a grand public meeting in Khammam. The BRS says that 5 lakh people from 13 assembly constituencies are expected to attend this meeting, adding that will set the course for the national politics. Remember, the BRS commands just 12 MPs in parliament, a fraction of the BJP's power, and is making an ambitious pitch for 2024. Meanwhile, the Congress, which is banking hard on the Bharat Jodo Yatra, has said they will not ally with the Aam Aadmi Party or OSC, while BSP Chief Mayawati has said that her party will be going solo for 2024. The opposition camp seems to be playing a game of optics, but not a serious game plan to take on the robust unity and the unit that the BJP has appeared and continues to be appearing. Each player seems to aim to expand its own clout as far as the opposition is concerned, with the base of other opposition parties being fair game. Will this fragmentation only help the saffron juggernaut? But let's not forget that the saffron juggernaut right now appears to be solidly placed.
बॉर्डर विलेजेस के साथ हमारा संपर्क ज़्यादा बने, उनका मेन स्ट्रीमिंग ये हम लोग कर पाए और वहाँ पर हमारी एक्टिविटी बढ़े, ताकि हमारा संपर्क सूत्र भी वहाँ बने। 18 से 25 इस आयु के जो हमारे युवा है, इनमें भी जागृति तैयार करना, इनको भी लोकतंत्र के मूल्यों के साथ जोड़ने की कोशिश करना। एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत इस संकल्प को दोहराते हुए हमारे सारे राज्य एक दूसरे के साथ समन्वय करें।
नड्डा जी के योगदान को पार्टी आज इसकी अनुमोदना भी करती है और उसको स्वीकारते हुए इनके कार्यकाल को जून 2024 तक बढ़ाती है।
Coming in. Breaking news coming in on the top of the show. Top sources in the BJP camp are giving us inside details of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's message to the BJP workers. The Prime Minister has asked the BJP workers, according to sources, to reach out to the marginalized and minority communities And he has said that there has to be an outreach to the Bohras and the Pasmanda Muslims. Remember, Pasmandas are largely seen as a class which has benefited from the schemes of the government. And the Bohras have always been the part of the Gujarat success story, and hence they have always looked at the BJP favorably. The Prime Minister's big message has always also been that the party should remain connected to the members of the Sikh community, and there has been a reach out and the message of connecting every village and youth, the youth of the country 18 to 25, that is the group that the BJP is now looking at very, very closely. The Prime Minister said and told his party men that this outreach, particularly to the marginalized and the minorities, should not be seen from the point of view of votes. It should be seen from the point of view of societal well-being. Samaj ke liye. That is the message that is coming in from the Prime Minister. And avoid making unnecessary statements on every issue. We should not become overconfident when fighting polls. And he has cited examples as well when he addressed the members of the BJP National Executive. He also says that when these unnecessary statements are made by the party leaders, then the governance agenda, the Vikas agenda is put on the back foot. Arun Dhatat, who tracks BJP for us, joins me live. Arun, the big question certainly is that this message of outreach to the minorities, and coming as it does 400 days before the big election. Don't be complacent, but at the same time, reach out to the minorities, the marginalized as well.
Well, Maria, if you remember, in the last national executive of Bharatiya Janata Party, which happened in Hyderabad, even in that national executive, while the then UP Chief Swatantra Dev Singh, when he was giving the presentation on the ground realities of Uttar Pradesh, Prime Minister Modi interjected in between and spoke about the reach out strategy and plan to Pasmanda Muslims, that why don't we take out the Sneh Yatra, why we are not connecting the 85% population of the Muslim community, which comes from the Pasmanda community, why we are not reaching out to that. And today, when Prime Minister Modi was giving that concluding address of 2 days national executive of Bharatiya Janata Party, he again said that this time around not only Pasmanda Muslim but the Bohra Muslim community, Christians, he also said that we should not really think about whether these people are voting us or not, but we should establish contact, we should meet them, we should visit church, we should visit universities, we should speak to the elite Muslims, and try to have that communication with them, which is missing. That was the clear message which Prime Minister Modi gave to the audience of 350 members of the National Executive of Bharatiya Janata Party. And in fact, in that press conference which was held right after the address of Prime Minister Modi, Devendra Fadnavis said the speech and the address of Prime Minister Modi was not of a political leader. It was a statesman's speech which he gave, and the focus was really not on these 9 upcoming elections and Lok Sabha elections of 2024, but it was about the connect, the way people...
And Arun, just hold on to your thoughts, because now we have got the letter that has been written by BJP Chief JP Nadda to the party Karyakartas. Remember, Mr. Nadda got an extension today. That proposal for his extension was moved by Rajnath Singh and endorsed by the BJP National Executive. Mr. Nadda has said that he is thanking the party for his extension. He also says that India stands on the threshold of a historic age and the foundations of new India are being laid now. Reiterating the mission of Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat, Nadda said India is emerging as a Vishwa Guru and the party should pour in its energy to see India usher in her finest hour. Give us more details of this letter, Arun.
Well, Maria, yes, JP Nadda, right after getting that extension of 1 year, he has written this letter to the Bharatiya Janata Party Karyakartas, and that's what in fact Prime Minister Modi said, that we need to reach out to more and more people. And Prime Minister and JP Nadda in this letter saying in the beginning that it is, he's writing this letter with a deep sense of honor and gratitude that he is getting this extension as a BJP chief for another 1 year. And he's also highlighting the fact that he's coming from a very humble background. He's coming from a very small state like Himachal Pradesh, a normal karyakarta of Bharatiya Janata Party, who has reached to this post where he has got the opportunity to work with the likes of Prime Minister Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, and also filling up the shoes and becoming the chief of Bharatiya Janata Party, where many stalwarts of Bharatiya Janata Party have been, and it has been a huge honor for him to serve Bharatiya Janata Party.
And Arun, he is talking about the foundations of a new India is being laid now. Our perseverance and hard work will be driven and oriented by a strong and unshakable resolve to see India emerge as a Vishwaguru. So the message that is coming in from JP Nadda as Prime Minister set the tone and tenor for 2024 and the elections that will be held this year is of Amrit Kal. Arun Datta, I appreciate your time. Let me bring in all my guests. Sanju Verma, BJP National Spokesperson, Shama Mohammed, Congress Spokesperson, Riju Datta, TMC Spokesperson, Ravula Sridhar Reddy is BRS Senior Leader, and we also have Sanjay Kumar, CSDS. Shama, the BJP is battle ready. There is a letter that has been written by Mr. Nadda. The Prime Minister addressed the National Executive. The party president's tenure has been extended. The roadmap has been set for 2024. Where is the Congress?
I fail to understand what is your question. Where is the Congress? We are having a plenary coming up in February. And you just mentioned that the party president's term has been extended. Why is there no election? I mean, I remember when our party president was discussed, every time you people in the media asked, where is the election? Why is it not happening? Why was this term extended? On what basis is the term extended? The other thing which I noticed what you said was, the PM has asked them to go and talk to Pashminda Muslims and Bora Muslims. Again, dividing the Muslims. Why not just to all Muslims? Why certain sects of the Muslims? So to give them development and divide the Muslims. That is what he does. I mean, divide and rule is the core of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Now, the simple thing, for example, they have banned Campus Front of India, but they haven't banned SDPI, which is in Kerala. Why? Because without the SDPI, they can't function.
Okay.
So you see, where is the Congress? Congress is doing the Bharat Jodo Yatra, a historic yatra.
Okay.
We have enthused all our cadres. We have asked many opposition parties to join us, and many MPs and many people from all walks of life have joined
please
us.
Come in.
Let me just finish one last point. Can I just finish?
Of the process through which Mr. Nadda has been given an extension, and the second of the outreach.
Maria, I think I would like to focus on the outreach by the Prime Minister, because clearly that is the essence of what the BJP National Executive meet is all about. Let's be very clear about the fact that when the BJP talks, and I've been accused personally, ad nauseum, you keep talking of sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka vishwas, sabka prayas. This is just empty rhetoric. This is just a platitude which does not connect or resonate with people on the ground. But actually the reality is, pretty different. And I would like to say that we walk the talk. Look at Danish Azad Ansari. He was made a minister in the Yogi cabinet after we won Uttar Pradesh for the second time consecutively. And the Deputy Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Brajesh Pathak, he actually organized a highly successful Pasmanda Samaj Baitak as recently as in October 2022. And it has never been done in the post-independent history of India that the Pasmanda Samaj has actually been recognized as an important contributor to the socio-political landscape. Point number 3, you look at the Modi cabinet for that matter. I think, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, Maria. There are about 29 OBC ministers. There are 12 ministers from the scheduled castes, and there are 8 from the scheduled tribe.
Okay.
Look at Draupadi Murmu, who was the BJP's nominee for the presidential elections and who's now the president, the Santals in all, out of a population of 140 crore people in India, there are just just 1.5 crore Santalis. For the first
Okay.
time, a Santali tribal woman from the
Is the
corner
president of India.
country is the president of India.
Yes,
representational. So BJP,
representational politics, certainly. Let me bring in Riju Datta and Ravula Sridhar Reddy. Mr. Reddy, here is the meeting that is being held by your party. You have Akhilesh Yadav in attendance, the Aam Aadmi Party in attendance, but the Congress is missing, the TMC is missing. My question is, all these efforts are only, talking about the chinks in the armor. They are talking about how divided the opposition is.
I don't know why BJP or any other party today is worried about the opposition unity. Now, whether opposition is in unity or not, it is not the problem of BJP, right? And who are going to fight? What will be the agenda? It's our problem. And definitely in 2024, it will not be the same game that what it was in 2019. And
Why
BJP
do you
might
say that?
Amrit Kal, everything is going
If
good.
anything, BJP appears to be firmly in the pole position, sir.
Yeah, of course.
The index of opposition unity is at an all-time low.
It is not the question. The need of the hour is a strong alternative agenda for the nation. Just not few political parties joining together to fight BJP or something. And today BRS believes in it, and we are going to fight BJP, and we are going to fight with all those forces who will fight against BJP. And we wanted to put forward a strong, alternative agenda before the nation. We wanted to want the nation to discuss development and welfare, not Amrit Kal, some other call, and no call of this 8 years of Modi's rule has bettered any living standards of any section.
Mr. Riju Datta, why is the TMC not going for this very important meeting of the opposition parties?
Whoever are invited,
because
nice, and definitely you will see many leaders in various other forums, various other occasions they might come. This is one occasion where.
Riju Datta, the TMC has made its stand clear. The BRS says that they cannot do business with the Congress. The Congress says that they cannot do business with the Aam Aadmi Party and Mr. Owaisi. When we look at a divided opposition, I'm not saying that will give strength to the BJP, because the BJP, the message from the Prime Minister is also that there should not be any complacency, that don't be overconfidence, that there should not be, he has cautioned the party against any sense of overconfidence. Here is the way they are approaching politics. My question is that Mamata Banerjee in 2021 spoke about she has a formula and the opposition can use that formula to bell the cat. But thereafter she is not seen anywhere.
Well,
and then you have Amartya Sen saying that she could be a potential Prime Minister.
Well, Maria, let me tell you, tomorrow you are going to see her in Meghalaya addressing a rally, and probably we are going to have a debate on that as well. So she is there. She has gone to Meghalaya tomorrow, and then she will be in Tripura, because the elections are around the corner in those two states. Now, the bottom line is very simple. We want a united India, and on the people's issue, the opposition is united. Congress has to fight 200 seats, 1:1 with the BJP, and they have to win. We will win Bengal, hands down. BRS has to win Telangana. The other parties, Akhilesh has to win Uttar Pradesh. Kejriwal ji has to win
But that
Punjab
understanding is also not there. Because in the opposition space also, the parties are fighting among themselves. The Aam Aadmi Party is trying to take the opposition space, which has been vacated by the Congress in number of states.
Maria, you have to understand one thing. When it comes to local elections, it is different. When it comes to general elections, it's different. And like I said, it is going to be the people's issue versus BJP's propaganda in 2024. And the opposition is united on issues. Whether there will be a pre-poll or a post-poll alliance, that we will wait and watch. Because 400 days is a long time.
And we have Sanjay Kumar, one of the most respected psephologists in the country today. Sanjay Kumar, is 2024 almost a done deal, and the messaging in terms of optics also that has come from this national executive of the BJP, the Prime Minister's roadshow, the national executive sending a message through its multiple resolutions. Then you have Mr. Nadda getting an extension. Then Prime Minister's message, don't be complacent. And he has talked about how, giving that example in which the BJP lost in Madhya Pradesh in 1998, despite the unpopularity of Congress that was led by Digvijay Singh. That is the example that was given by the Prime Minister. So, in 2024, are you of the opinion that it's a done deal, more or less?
Maria, I would hesitate to use this word done deal because we know things can change. But if you look at the situation at this moment, I am very clear that BJP is far ahead in the electoral race compared to its competitor because of several reasons. Look at, you have already laid down the preparation of the BJP. Today they have completed their national executive meeting, and the way they are planning to contest the 2024 election, that gives that is a clear indication that they are far more prepared compared to any other political party. Secondly, look at the support base of BJP at the moment and compare it with Congress or any other regional party. In terms of support base, BJP is far ahead. If you look at their electoral performance in the last couple of years, they have been winning elections after elections. All these gives me a good sense that BJP is far ahead in the electoral race for 2024. At this moment, hypothetically, if you hold elections in a couple of months, yes, I would say BJP would sure win the BJP is sure to win the elections. But
so
as I said,
will the number, according to you, Sanjay Kumar, if the elections were to be held in the next 2 months, will it be similar to 2019 or perhaps better?
Very difficult to say, Maria, whether it will be 305 or it will be 290. But I think BJP is not going to come down drastically if you hold the elections hypothetically 2 months from now. BJP is still commanding a lot of support base in the country across several states. BJP is in a very commanding position. I don't see any huge chances of BJP slipping down to say 260, 270 if you hold elections hypothetically in 2 months' time.
And how do you look at these efforts by the opposition parties? Mr. KCR trying, there is the Congress party, and Rahul Gandhi through his Bharat Jodo Yatra.
See, Maria, we have been talking about which party or who can challenge Prime Minister Modi, and I think the sense which many of us share is that if there is a divided opposition, the divided opposition will find it extremely difficult to challenge BJP. You need an opposition unity to at least challenge the BJP in 2024. But where is this opposition unity? There is a very bleak chances of opposition getting united on one platform, because Party A is not ready to have an alliance with Party B. Party B is not ready to have an alliance with Party C. So we are not talking about BJP versus the rest. We are talking about BJP versus a group of political parties versus a group of political parties versus a group of political parties.
Okay.
So in such a situation, if the anti-BJP votes is badly divided, I think this is going to give BJP a huge advantage in 2024.
Okay, Sanju Verma.
Maria, I think Sanjay Kumar made many pertinent points. Just to take off from there, I would like to add a couple of things.
Maria, is this a debate just with the Bharatiya Janata Party and the rest, or we are all involved in this debate?
Yes, ma'am, you have got your chance and others have spoken as well. You should go. I'm coming to you,
we also need to speak, otherwise there is no point inviting.
Okay. Maria, can you please ask her to stop? I don't wish to be
go ahead, Sanju.
Thank you.
Please go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Maria, let's be very clear about one thing. The BJP got 303 on a standalone basis in 2019 and 353 was the NDA tally. Now tell me honestly, without winning Uttar Pradesh, without winning Gujarat, without winning Madhya Pradesh, some of the bigger states, Maharashtra, how can anybody in the opposition be a serious claimant to the 2024 Delhi ki gaddi? I just want to say one thing to you. We won all the 26 Lok Sabha seats from Gujarat in 2019. We won about 62 seats from Uttar Pradesh. We won 25 out of 28 seats in Karnataka. And in Maharashtra, we got 23 seats, but the Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena got 18 seats. And the NCP got 4 and the Congress got 1. Now I'm telling you, Maharashtra will be a game changer because the NDA stands decimated. We got 23 last time. This time we will
No,
get more than 30 seats.
in Bihar, you had Nitish Kumar. Right now, Nitish Kumar and then on the other side is the Mahagathbandhan. So, you know, if you look at plus and minus, there has been plus and minuses as well.
I will come to that. I knew you wouldn't let me get away scot-free without mentioning Bihar. You know, let me tell you, Maria, one thing very clearly. After this Ramcharitmanas controversy, some of Nitish Kumar's close confidants, like Upendra Kushwaha, who is the chairman of their Sansadiya board, he has clearly spoken out against the Bihar Education Minister Chandrasekhar. Look at Ashok Chaudhary, who's a part of the Nitish Kumar cabinet. He's clearly said that we don't support what Chandrasekhar has said. So battle lines within the
No, but that's a different issue. You know, if you look at battle lines, there are battle lines within the BJP also in Karnataka, Sanju Verma. So, you know, there is infighting as well. So, one moment,
Let
ma'am.
me finish.
Okay, quickly.
Okay. Now let me come to the bigger picture. Everybody, you know, will agree that whether you like it or not, personality cult has a lot to say and plays a big role, especially in general elections. Can anybody seriously say that a Mamata Banerjee or a an Akhilesh Yadav or a Mayawati or a KCR or a KTR, they are challengers to the Narendra Modi charisma? The answer is no. And let me tell you one more thing. You know, people talk of Bharat Jodo Yatra. Will a Kunal Kamra, an Amol Palekar, a Pooja Bhatt...
Okay, Shama Mohammed, you know, Shama Mohammed, elections in India are increasingly becoming presidential. And in this presidential race, it appears at the moment that Prime Minister Narendra Modi could very well be heading for a hat-trick.
Now, please give me my time, Mari. I've been listening to her monologue for quite some time. Now, there are a couple of points. I want to bring in what she said. She said the Muslim outreach. There is not a single Lok Sabha member in the Bharatiya Janata Party Muslim, no Rajya Sabha member Muslim, 20% Muslims in UP, no ticket given, 9% Muslims in Gujarat, no ticket given. So she has to shop this rubbish about outreach to Muslims. There is no outreach to Muslims.
Please stop talking
Number
rubbish.
2, she said about tribal areas.
Tribal
areas in Madhya Pradesh.
So don't give me a lecture.
In Madhya Pradesh, can I speak, Maria? Otherwise, I have to leave it.
Sanju, listen to
in
her.
Madhya Pradesh,
Sanju, listen to her.
2017 to 18.
She heard you patiently. Yes.
In 2000.
Okay, let her speak, please. Let her speak.
In Madhya Pradesh.
Let her speak, yes. Okay, let her speak. Let her speak, yes.
No, she
the union budget in 2017.
Always indulges in diet.
Okay. Sanju Verma, let us speak, please. Sanju Verma, please let us speak. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
In 2017-18, the tribal budget, the union budget for the tribals was 4,144. All right, in Madhya Pradesh. In 2022, it is 1,718 crores. Look at the way the budget for the tribals have gone down. So there is no outreach to tribals. Now the other point, can I, Maria, I can't do a debate like this. I want to tell my last point, please. Now,
okay, quickly make your last point. Sanju, I'm coming to you.
Maria, I did not
Sanju, I'm coming to you.
Please be a good.
Sanju, I'm coming to you.
Maria,
let her quickly
answer.
Yes.
Reduce her volume.
No, please.
Reduce her volume.
No. You don't tell me what I have to do. Please, Shama, make your point. Yes.
Yeah, but then you're not allowed. It's not. I'm not able to talk now. In 2019,
yes.
They are allies: Shiromani Akali Dal, JDU, Shiv Sena, PDP, LJP, TDP. Where are these allies? They break up every ally. One of the oldest ally was Shiv Sena. They broke the party. LJP helped them win the last assembly election. They broke that party. This is what they do. So they hardly have allies compared to what they had before.
So you have allies
and then the Bharat
in the opposition
is very successful.
Is the Congress party being seen as that glue?
And one more thing.
Is the Congress party that glue?
And one more thing, Mario, there's something called... No, that's what. There is something called the post-poll alliance. In 2004, we did it. Everybody has to be one unit and fight the election. You have pre-poll alliances, you have post-poll alliances.
Okay, Mr. Reddy.
So I don't understand what is this new thing that they should
No, this is not for the first time it is being spoken about.
We can then fight this great man called Narendra Modi.
In the next 18 months.
What are you talking about?
Okay, Riju Datta.
Maria, I couldn't even hear you.
No, this lady has to be stopped. This Sanju Verma.
Riju Datta.
She only wants to talk continuously.
Okay, Riju Datta.
There are other spokespersons in the panel.
Riju
She has to
Datta.
shut her mouth.
Yes.
Shama Mohammed, who the hell are you?
No, please, no personal attacks. No personal attacks, ma'am. No personal attacks, ma'am. Okay, Riju Datta. Now let's bring in Riju Datta.
Somebody who just keeps
Riju Datta. Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, I just want to say, you started, Maria, with the introduction of what the Prime Minister said. And my heart goes out to the Prime Minister. After 8 years of using the Lord's name to commit atrocities against minorities, Dalits, Adivasis, some of them nincompoop opening emergency doors in aeroplanes, showing how responsible they are. Suddenly they want to go and outreach to the minorities. It is the Prime Minister who always has the nicest things to say, but unfortunately it does not percolate to their leaders and to their lowest cadres. So it is not going to happen. And I'm telling you, statistically, the opposition are very relevant. If the opposition is united, even today.
Okay, if the opposition is united, so you are also accepting that the opposition is a divided house. Ravula Reddy.
The question here, it is opposition united or divided. BJP is relying more on not on the strength of their own, and they are talking about always a divided opposition. The question is, who will be the strong alternative? What will be a strong alternative agenda for BJP? And that will come. It is not the question of BJP coming again. They are strong. Down the line, 2 months, you conduct elections and all that stuff. It is not the case. BJP is a regular affair. They conduct their national executive and all that stuff. But today, it is people versus BJP in 2024. It is not going to be the same.
No,
game
what makes you think that it is people versus BJP if the BJP is winning one state after another? The people of the country are only voting for them.
They lost Himachal Pradesh. They'll be losing Karnataka. They'll be losing Chhattisgarh. They'll be losing few other states which are going to face elections this year. So if you think that BJP
you get
is
all
on
these
a very
anti-BJP people
side,
and then I don't get a chance to rebut them.
and definitely people have understood all development.
Okay,
and
Sanju Verma,
go
go ahead, explain your position. The opposition says your biggest strength is a divided opposition.
I don't think it's a big issue. We will work out the numbers.
Maria,
we have enough time.
It is not the biggest strength or anything. It is not that. Sanju Verma just keeps on going, but there is no outreach. Muslim houses have been bulldozed, all those bulldozing and everything. So which outreach are you talking about to Muslims, Sanju Verma? What outreach?
Okay, Sanju, speak and then I'll give the final word to Sanjay Kumar. Please go ahead.
Okay. Maria, let's be very clear. Every time the BJP is discussed, people say, oh, they lost Himachal. Our vote share difference was less than 1% and overall we lost by less than 37,000 votes.
जो जीता वही सिकंदर. जो जीता वही सिकंदर. You know that, Sanju Verma? जो जीता वही सिकंदर. You have lost Himachal. Tell that you have lost Himachal. Don't have shame. You have lost the elections.
You are a madrasa bred. I know that you are a madrasa bred.
Okay, Sanju Verma, that's not needed. You have to make your own argument. You cannot say that. No, please. Sanju Verma, Sanju, please quickly make your point. No, that's not done.
What sort of language is
That's
this?
not done. That's not done.
Sorry, this is not done, Maria.
Yes,
What
absolutely.
sort of
Sanju,
language
that's
is
not
that?
done.
She's insulting me.
Sanju, that's not acceptable. Sanju, that language is not fine. Yes, Sanju,
This is the outreach. This is the outreach she's doing. Narendra Modi is talking against people like you, Sanju Verma. You are the one who's tarnishing the image of BJP. You are tarnishing the image of BJP. Exactly what Mr. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, is saying. Very sad. Please, there. Look at that. What is this? What is this? Madrasa
No, listen, ladies, please, Sanju Verma and Shama Mohammed. I have just enough time for Sanjay Kumar now. Please, let's have Professor Sanjay Kumar on the screen, because that's not the way I usually conduct debates. That's not the way it should be done, please. Professor Sanjay Kumar, you heard all the sides. The question is that really the strength of the BJP, or would you say that the strength is their organizational strength, their presence in polling booths, their presence on ground? Can it be just seen from the prism the way opposition is saying, and the BRS spokesperson Mr. Reddy said that their strength is a divided opposition?
Maria, in my opinion, it would be incorrect to say that the BJP's only strength is the divided opposition. I think BJP's strength is reflected from the vote share BJP has nationally, the way BJP is winning elections state by state, or the way BJP won the 2019 elections, 2014 elections. But yes, a divided opposition gives BJP an extra mileage. That has also this is also reflected in the verdict in many states. So I won't agree that BJP's only strength is divided opposition. BJP has its own support base. BJP has expanded enormously in the rural areas. BJP has expanded among the lower sections of the society, and this is all because of several factors. BJP's campaign on the issues of nationalism, BJP government's welfare policy. So a mix of several things has enabled BJP to expand its support base, which has made BJP a very, very dominant or very powerful party, powerful in terms of the support base. But as I said earlier, a divided opposition also gives BJP an extra advantage.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Sanju Verma, Shama Mohammad, Riju Datta, Arivula Reddy and Professor Sanjay Kumar. Shifting focus to debate 2. In a big victory for India, the United Nations Security Council has listed 2611 mastermind Abdul Rahman Makki as a global terrorist. Previous bids by India and a joint bid by the United States and India could not ensure his blacklisting, as China put a technical hold in June 2022. China kept the hold for the last 6 months but has released it, paving the way for the UN sanction. Makki was one of the key plotters of 2611 and has been involved in raising funds, recruiting and radicalizing youth for terror operations in Jammu and Kashmir. The Ministry of External Affairs has said that India welcomes this step and will continue to pursue a zero-tolerance approach to terrorism. This has come as a significant blow to the China-Pakistan nexus that has shielded terrorists in the past, but China sees it differently, giving the spin that Makki was convicted and sentenced in Pakistan, which shows the nation's staunch fight against terror. However, from its inaction over COVID, LAC violations, human rights record and economic imperialism in South Asia and Africa, China has found itself isolated on multilateral forums and India's aggressive diplomatic campaigning. Is this now indicative of India's rising diplomatic clout on the world stage?
We welcome the decision of the UN Security Council's ISI and Al-Qaeda Sanctions Committee to list Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorist Abdul Rahman Makki. India remains committed to pursuing a zero-tolerance approach to terrorism.
Those who are involved and who are complicit in acts of terrorism should be brought to book. Terrorists are made accountable for their actions.
Backtalk, realizing that this doesn't pay any dividends for them because terrorism is now, countering terrorism is now increasingly becoming a global norm.
Joining me now is Dr. Tara Kartha, is a former Director, National Security Council Secretariat, Faisal Rahman, Senior Pakistan journalist. Dr. Andrew K.P. Leong is international and independent China strategist. Dr. Leong, over the years, China has acted almost like an agent of Pakistan by blocking India's efforts to get Pakistan-based terror groups and individuals listed by 1267 Sanctions Committee. In return, we have seen how Pakistan has got the Islamic world to remain mum on atrocities against Uyghur Sunni Muslims in Xinjiang province. This was like a quid pro quo. Would you say that China has had no option and that because India managed to get the numbers, 14 or 15 members of the UNSC were backing India?
Well, let's not mix the cases together between the terrorists in Pakistan and the situation in Xinjiang. I think the two are quite different. As far as this Pakistani case is concerned, don't forget that the person in question was, in fact, arrested and sanctioned in the courts, even in Pakistan itself. I think about a couple of years ago, he was sanctioned by the Pakistani court and also wanted by the authorities. So China, I think that in this case, sought a 6-month delay in order to find out more about the case. And now China has now agreed that supported the United Nations.
Dr. Tarakata, how much are you in agreement with this assessment of Dr. Leung, or would you be agreeing with what diplomats based in New York are saying, that China was isolated in the UNSC over Makki, as India made it clear that it would continue raising the listing of Lashkar terrorists, and the role that has been played by China in providing cover to Pakistan-based groups till its objective was achieved?
I think it proved very expensive to China to go on blocking a known terrorist, international terrorist, which everybody knows, and whom China has suddenly discovered has been arrested. It took 6 months to discover that. But then we have no, as far as I'm aware, he was, well, they say he was arrested, but I have no knowledge of it. The UN doesn't mention it. The Interpol notice doesn't mention it.
Yes.
So I don't know, honestly, where Makki is, because their own laws are so vague and so strange. I think at all times, at the 4 times that China blocked India's designation, it began to prove politically expensive. That's what I think. And number 2, if you look at Pakistan's record at the UN, the way it has tried to block legislation, it has blocked its reservations on the UN Convention on Terrorist Finance, the UN Convention on Bombing, terrorist bombing. You just look at their record. In every case, they have put reservations saying, we object to this, we object to that, self-determination, this, that, and the other. And a bunch of international countries, including Australia, Netherlands, have all said, how can you object to this? How can you object to terrorist bombings?
Yes.
So you want to know what Pakistan is up to, just look at their record in the United Nations.
Okay, then in that case, Faisal Rahman, is there a degree of disappointment then of the stand that China had to take, because it was isolated clearly?
Well, I'll just add a few things here. Number one, post 9/11, the global political dynamics, they have changed, number one. A T for terrorist is considered somebody with a beard and perhaps a Muslim. And unfortunately, this has led to a lot of questions and a lot of, I would say,
no, but
issues.
Here, Makki is seen as the chief conspirator and a plotter of 26/11.
Well, when you talk about Lashkar-e-Taiba or Jamaat-ud-Dawa, a lot of organizations are still banned in Pakistan. Few of their leaders were also sent to the prison on certain charges. So Pakistan is exactly doing what they are supposed to do according to the laws and the norms of the international community. Number one.
But he is continuing to run a terror factory in Bahawalpur in Punjab, and has been responsible for major terror attacks in India. So what really is it that Pakistan has done?
I've met a lot of people, including Hafiz Saeed. And to tell you the truth, because exactly what has happened over a period of time, that this man has been declared a terrorist. Obviously, Americans are in alliance with the Indians, and they're the strategic partners. So they would do exactly what China was doing with Pakistan. So Pakistan and China are also strategic partners. The point is now, since China has been isolated, or the Russians have been isolated by the Western world in one way or the other, whether it's through the trade war or the Taiwanese issue, or whatever even COVID-19 for that matter. So they are trying to put a lot of pressure on the Chinese also. So I would say that the Chinese had no other option, because if you say that 14...
So Dr. Karta, has that axis, China-Pakistan axis, been impacted? Or would you say that Chinese clarification which came, that he had already been convicted in Pakistan, so they were waiting for a clarification, and it has happened. But let's not forget that China blocked his designation 4 times before giving up.
I Okay, to be honest, I don't think there is a Pakistan-China axis in terms of terrorism. I mean, that is something China has very, very strong reservations on. I mean, that they don't, I mean, clearly this is not something that they would like to see growing in Pakistan. In some sense,
Well,
I
just
would tell the Pakistani
ma'am,
gentlemen, this is good for Pakistan. The more you
ma'am,
bring down terrorists, the more you close those places, actually close them, not just on paper. That is what Pakistan needs today. But in terms
ma'am,
of I think it just was becoming embarrassing for China to go on blocking a terrorist whom the whole world knows about. Maki is an international figure. So it's not a question of US. That's what I was trying. It's not a US India axis. You look at the UN record. So many countries have objected to the kind of things which Pakistan has done at the UN. It's there on record
that was
in
the
the UN.
diplomatic
So,
effort primarily
in
by the
summary,
Indians,
I'd
in which
say
I would say they have won.
Yes.
And I think that was a win-win situation for the Indians and for the West, especially when it comes to this particular person, Mr. Makki, Abdurrahman Makki. Now, the second point is, ma'am, that when you talk about Makki, let's not consider him a global terrorist, that he has been doing something in America or in France or in Europe or elsewhere. Totally
Yes, he
India-centric, because this man supposed the jihad, this man supposed the, this indigenous homegrown movement for freedom in Kashmir. And we all know, let's not get there because that's
Mr. Rahman, you are trying to justify that someone who planned and orchestrated the 26/11 Mumbai attacks, you are justifying his move by saying that there was some kind of jihad here. And no, you are essentially saying that it has linked to Kashmir. No, I'm not going to give you airtime to voice that view. Dr. Leung, I want to understand from you. Here is the Pakistani guest who says that yes, China was isolated and they had little option but to back this move because India had the numbers. This is certainly embarrassing for Xi Jinping.
It is not the first time that China was so-called isolated, because there was a Western coalition to push back against China on all fronts. But China has been very consistent in sticking to its own position as far as facts are concerned. And that's why China did not block the whole thing right from the start, did not veto the whole thing right from the start, but sought a 6-month extension in order to look at the facts. And afterwards, China agreed with the United Nations that he should be designated a global terrorist. That's what it is. I don't think that you can just extend it to other areas at all.
Okay, Dr. Karta, let me give you the final word. I have just enough time for you, ma'am.
I think it's a good thing what China did, what it did. Finally, it got on to say that here's a terrorist and let's work with the international community. It's a good thing. But don't forget there are 4 others. The last 4 months, there are 4 others whom we are waiting to get, listed as terrorists, and China has so far shown no intention of moving with that. I hope it does. That's all I can say, because it's good for everyone concerned, including Pakistan.
Yes, because if there are terror groups of this nature, Faisal Rahman, which is functioning, and you have Shehbaz Sharif accepting that things are going from bad to worse as far as the economics in the state is concerned, there are tensions on those lines, there's food crunch massively playing out. And if you continue to back these terror groups in the name of Islam, then certainly there is something going horribly wrong with the Pakistani state, the deep state.
Well, ma'am, do you justify the attack on the APS school in Peshawar, in which 162 kids were literally butchered along with their teachers? And who was behind it? RAW was supporting the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, and we had all the proof. So let's not be that naive and innocent when it comes to it. Pakistan is one of those countries in the world, I think the only country which has suffered the most when it comes to the act of terrorism. Every other day our soldiers are being butchered, being killed, their posts are being attacked from Afghanistan's side. Obviously, who is supporting them? Who is giving them financial aid, or who is arming them? It's India. Not only in the previous government, but certainly when this government came into power, everybody thought Pakistan is going to be supporting Afghanistan. But again, the Indians moved in, and exactly what is happening, because I'm a journalist, I know I get the information. We do understand what sort of actions are being taken against these terrorists by the Pakistan armed forces. But when it comes to particularly, let me be very clear about one thing. This is the general perception in Pakistan that Kashmir is our jugular vein, right? When it comes to Kashmir, this old issue has been totally politicized by the Indians.
No, but why is it being even considered on those lines? Dr. Karta, we are talking about what will be seen as India's big diplomatic victory. Someone who has been blocked repeatedly by China, and despite its vote as a permanent member, India managed to outmaneuver China. And let's not forget that it has happened 4 times in the past that they blocked it. So it is about persistence, and at the same time understanding that India had all the evidence to back its claim. There is a reason why this man had to be declared as a global terrorist.
But this is
what it's a fantastic job by MEA. They've done an excellent job because they've just gone at it, to try and get this through. We got this through. It's also a win for the global counterterrorism community.
Yes.
I mean, I don't care what Pakistan says that Lashkar-e-Taiba didn't target Americans. It targeted Jews. It targeted people all over the world. It is not just India-centric. Sorry. It is active in Afghanistan as well. So this is a terrorist who is important for the whole region. And we've got him designated. That is something to be proud of.
Dr. Karta, Faisal Rahman and Dr. Leung, thank you so much for your time. All the stories on news18.com. That's all from me. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.
Civilians were shot dead by Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists. Same year, in 2018, there was an attack on the famous journalist Sujat Bukhari, who is from the Kashmir Times. His 2 guards, including a personal security officer, were shot dead. Abdul Rahman Makki was behind that. And in 2018, the Bandipora attack, in which 4 army soldiers were killed while trying to thwart an infiltration bid. Now, why is this sanctioning, this proscribing of Abdul Rahman Makki such an important thing? The UNSC 1267 Sanctions Committee is the highest body, and they've gone through a series of charges against Abdul Rahman Makki. Number 1, he's wanted by the Indian government for numerous terror attacks that I just enlisted a moment ago. Number 2, he's associated with ISIL as well as with Al-Qaeda. So it's not just his connection and his central role in Lashkar-e-Taiba, but also his connections with these 2 proscribed organizations, ISIL and Al-Qaeda. He's participated in terror financing, in planning, plotting, conspiring some of the biggest terror attacks that have taken place in India. Number 4, he has facilitated or directly perpetrated many terror acts in India over the last 20 years. And charge 5, he has recruited actively a number of young jihadists to carry out acts of terror. And number 6, he's actively supported the activities of the Lashkar-e-Taiba, whether it is the front, the so-called charity front, the Jamaat-ud-Dawa, or other activities carried out by the Lashkar-e-Taiba. So what does the blacklisting of Abdul Rahman Makki actually mean? How will this affect both his operations as well as operations of the Lashkar-e-Taiba? The implication number 1 is that this will put severe restrictions on Makki's ability to travel, both domestically, within Pakistan, and also, more importantly, foreign travel. He will not be able to leave the country. Implication number 2, it blocks the Lashkar-e-Taiba from collecting funds. There are financial restrictions that will be put on the Lashkar-e-Taiba as well as on Abdul Rahman Makki to be able to collect funds for terror financing. Number 3, he cannot collect funds even in the name of charity or proselytizing or evangelizing in the name of Islam. Even that would be curbed by today's sanctioning. Implication number 4 are his financial assets, whether they are homes, whether they are assets in bank lockers, it will all be frozen. He will not have access to both liquid and illiquid assets. And finally, implication number 5, it would also mean he cannot be seen carrying any weapons of any sort. He will not be given regular gun licenses, even if he were to apply for one. And he cannot be seen as dealing in any kind of weapons trade. This is not the first time that China has blocked a known and dreaded terrorist from being proscribed by the United Nations Security Council. It's been on a blocking spree since 2009, since right after the 26/11 attacks. Number one, Masood Azhar, the Jaish-e-Mohammed chief, he was put on a technical hold multiple times, first in 2009, then in 2016 after the Pathankot attack, then in 2017, and then finally in March 2019 after the Pulwama attack. Basically, China put it on a technical hold, saying there needs to be more time to assess information. Finally, after I think 5 attempts, finally China accepted the proposal to proscribe Masood Azhar in May of 2019. Abdul Rauf Asgar, again, somebody who was a relative of Masood Azhar, his younger brother. He's the deputy chief